this is recorded. But
you're live now.
I'm live now, and that's all that matters. I'm here with
Cin Von Quinzel.
Yes, you are a big deal. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't think so. I'm gonna be totally honest.
You don't think that you're a big deal?
No.
Why is that?
There are much bigger deals, and maybe I'm comparing numbers, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, 21,000 followers on Instagram is a pretty big deal. I mean, I'm struggling to get over 100, so.
It was a struggle to get where I am, and I feel like it's still an uphill battle trying to get recognized in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate all 21,000. It took a very long time to get to that number, and the fact that any of those people chose to stay that's the big deal for me, not so much me.
Okay. So what got you into cosplay? Like, what was, because, I mean, I've looked at all, I would like to think all, but, because I was just at your table and I saw the Red Lantern. I had never seen that one before, and that was really awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
But what got you into cosplay and wanting to do that?
I've been going to conventions since I was 15 years old, and I would see people walk around in costumes. And little by little over the years, between going to New York Comic Con every year and just scrolling through the internet, you end up finding more people in costumes and really cool things. So when I turned 18, I figured mom can't tell me what I can and can't wear. I'm gonna start making costumes. And I was going through a terrible depression at the time, and I wasn't working, so I just sat at home for hours and taught myself how to sew. And
you hand make all of your costumes, right?
I do.
Okay.
Unless it's otherwise said. A couple of times I've had friends of mine build props. My Samus gun is built by one of my friends, Tony. My whole Velma costume is bought on Amazon. But I try to make it really clear when things aren't made by me, especially if they're made by someone else, because I just want people to see their work. But majority,
So you made this the 2099 Spider-Man that you're wearing now.
Yeah.
How long did this take you?
I started it Tuesday.
Whoa! What?
Yesterday.
It's Saturday. You started on Tuesday?
I did. I had the red fabric in my house and I had the foam in my house, but the blue fabric I didn't have. I had my roommate go pick it up on his way home from work. I was like, give me 2 yards, and I started patterning out, and I made the pattern, and I cut out the pieces and sewed everything together.
Wow.
And each of the red pieces is sewn to the foam first, and then the foam is sewn to the suit.
Wow. Okay. I'm even more impressed than I was to start. That's crazy.
I work with spandex a lot. I've become so proficient in it. I was making wrestling gear at one time for people. Okay. So spandex is my friend. So I already have patterns for cat suits that fit me. So it's not like I'm trying to make a pattern for myself. It's just modifying it to look how I want this suit to look. It's just years of doing kind of the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Well, no, I get it. Because when you're, it doesn't seem like anything much to you because, like you said, you're really good at it. But to someone
who's never done it.
Yeah, that's insane. The fact that you threw this together in less than a week is insane to me.
I'm just glad that this was a smaller project because I've done bigger projects in less than a week and they don't look as good.
Yeah. So I was working on my cosplay and I was joking because you can't see because I'm wearing these gloves, but I had this huge gash in my hand from trying to cut plastic with a razor. And it's for me, I don't know how it is for you, but whenever I'm working on a cosplay, if I don't bleed or burn myself or something, then I don't feel like I'm doing it right.
That's me with bigger builds, I'll say. Something like this, no, because the last thing I want is an injury for every small costume I make. But I actually have a burnt, you can't see it because it doesn't have the opening. I have a burn in a reverse 7 on this finger now. I got it in February because I was at Katsucon and I was gluing the tiny foam claws to my paws for Felicia.
Okay.
And it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's a room of like 6 or 7 of us. Everybody's sleeping. I'm in the bathroom. I'm quiet, just finishing like last minute things, and I'm just gluing. This is the last things I have to do, and I'm gluing the tiny claws to the paws. And I'm standing there, and I have this like industrial hot glue, so it gets hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I glue around, and I go to put it on the paw, and it's falling, and I can see the fall in slow motion. And I'm thinking, if I try to catch it, this is more sensitive.
Right.
This side of my hand is more sensitive, and it's gonna hurt a lot, and I don't want to injure my hand, so I just kept it like this, and it fell. And I had the most delayed reaction, because I thought in my head for a second, oh, it's not that bad. And I got like a 3rd-degree burn, and I wanted to scream. It was like stuck to my skin, and when I was peeling it off, my skin came with it. It was terrible. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and there are 6 other people in this room, and I cannot scream. And I'm just in the bathroom like the whole time. So I have plenty of injuries like that. I have another burn like on my thigh, and a couple of cuts from box cutters, cutting something that should not be cut.
Right.
I'm just glad I've never gotten burned by my heat gun.
Okay.
That I'm very cautious of.
Yeah, I'm.
That scares me.
Like I burned. I can't remember what I was doing, but I burned my thumb, and like I said, I cut and like I'm just doing it now at this point. It's like, oh, that's a new cut, and just you keep going.
Mm-hmm. The little nicks, they don't bother me too much anymore. Like getting hot glue on like some of my fingertips when it's like still pretty hot. Like it doesn't. I feel like I like lost my fingertips.
Yeah.
But anywhere else, it still hurts.
So how do you pick out your cosplay? Like when you're, because you go to a lot of cons. How do you? Is there a process? Do you have like names on a board and you're throwing darts at it?
I kind of have names on the board.
Okay.
I do have names on the board. I have folders in my phone. And it's just of things that I've either seen or like characters that I love. And I'm like, if I ever do a version, this is the one I do.
Mm-hmm.
So for this convention, I honestly had no idea what I was going to do. And I was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, do I just wear a costume I have? Do I finish something I've already started? I just couldn't figure it out. And I pulled out the board, and me and my friend were sitting there, and we're looking at the board, and nothing on the board made sense to me. And then I was like, I started throwing out a couple ideas from things I had in my phone. And this is one of the designs I had in my phone, and this is my favorite Spider-Man version.
Okay.
Period. My Doc Ock is inspired by the 2099 Doc Ock, and this is the 2099 Spider-Man in which she fights. So he's been on the list for a very long time. I had like 6 photos, 3 of them being like one of the statues that had come out. And I was like, I really want to make that. And he was just like, are you going to get that done? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never made a mask before. And I was like, screw it. I think on Monday I decided. And I was like, this is a Latin-based con.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wanted to do somebody who was Latin. Like, I'm Latin. He's Latin.
No,
I'm Puerto Rican.
I know that. I'm Boricua too, so like.
So it was just, this quickly became an obvious choice.
So is that why that's why you went with this one, because it was a Hispanic character?
It's a Hispanic character. It was a Hispanic con, and I've always wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If I was gonna do it, why not now?
Right.
It's like I can make it, and I knew that I've been looking to do things that are a bit more challenging or like something new to learn. And I was like, I've never made a mask. I can learn how to make a mask. So I was like, this is the perfect choice.
When
That's
you-
why I chose this.
When you're thinking about the character that you want to play, and you're, is there, like, do you have a list of like Hispanic, like, because I do this. I have a list of characters that I can like most realistically pull off, like, and I'm wondering, is that the same for you? Like, is there like, okay,
Honestly,
these are characters that I have to do, or
Honestly,
nothing's
no.
off limits for you?
Nothing's off limits.
Okay.
For me, it's just if I enjoy the character, and if there's some characters that either I enjoy and I just haven't found a version that I wanted to do, and so they're not on the list. But if I found a version that I'm like very interested in doing, then they go on the list. So it has nothing to do with race or even gender. I think the only thing I separate is if I need body paint or not, because body paint is hell, and I feel like that list of body paint characters is long.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only like 2 or 3 checked off because I don't feel like going through that hell. But the rest of it, honestly, at first I was thinking about it, like when I first started cosplaying, it was like, oh, I can't cosplay her. It even got to like that costumes I don't feel comfortable. And not comfortable that like, oh, I just, it's not my thing. It was like, I really like that version, but I feel like I couldn't pull it off.
Right.
Or, people are going to judge me, or whatever the case may be, or, I'm not skinny enough.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while in the beginning, that was a thought. And now it's still there sometimes, but I've branched out more. And even though it's a sexier cosplay, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. It has nothing to do with anybody else's opinion or what they want or don't want. It's just if I wanted to do it. And Vampirella was one of those. And I did a version of her, and people were happy, and it was weird because she's someone I never thought I'd cosplay.
Really?
Yeah, it was because I'm like, I'm big chested. How is this gonna stay? And if it does, is it gonna look right? Plus, like, it's like little things like, oh, if this doesn't look a certain way, I'm not gonna like the way it looks. And if it's too high waisted, this is too low, and there's boob. And for a while, it was just bad. And when I finally made the costume, I wasn't really thinking about it, and I never even thought I'd wear it for a photo shoot. I was just doing it to do it. And then I did there's 3 photos of it. It wasn't
That's
really
one of your more
picture.
popular costumes.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it was one of those that it actually people enjoyed it. And then when I first made a post about it, especially on Facebook, I feel like Instagram I'm a little more free. But there's a number of family members and people I grew up with on the Facebook page. So I made this massive post attached to the photograph. And it was I know that there's a lot of people who aren't going to like this. And I know a lot of the people who aren't going to like it are people that I know personally. And I included my mother in the post because I knew as soon as she saw that, she was going to feel some type of way. And then I explained why I did it. And I explained why I chose to put the costume on, and why I chose to shoot it, and why I actually fell in love with the photograph. I think that the photographer who did it is so talented, and he managed to make me look at that photograph and feel confident about myself when looking at it. It was a huge post, and people were so supportive towards it, and even my mother shared it, which is very surprising. And she simply explained, I don't like everything she does, and I don't exactly approve of this outfit, but she's happy, so I'm happy.
So, just to share with you, so you first came on my radar about 3 or 4 years ago, and there was this picture of you where you were like a posed picture, and then it was a relaxed picture. You know what you know what I'm talking about? And that was the first picture I saw of you, and I was like, it was fucking awesome because like, you know, like there's always that especially when I don't know what it is about today where it's like everything is so social media and you want everything to be like just perfect, but the fact that you were like, and I guess that was a movement that was going on at the time that you were a part of.
I had saw a couple of people post about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was like, I saw their post and I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like it made me feel a little better, and it was interesting because a lot of the two people I had saw post before weren't even plus size people; they were like workout people,
Right.
and it's like, you know, the abs and like the pose, and then it's just them relaxed, and I made that post, and I feel like with posts like that, I tend to overthink them. Not overthink the post or what I'm gonna say, but as you can see, I don't post like that too much.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of overthink, like, for the people who already follow me, are they really following me for this? Like, do they really want to hear me rant about something that I don't know if these people care about it?
Right. Well, but I'll try to answer that if I can. I feel like those are the more interesting posts. Because like I look at your pictures and they're great, but for me it's just because you call yourself a body positivity model.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for people to see that. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be the Barbie doll cutout to be attractive.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know. I just wanted to ask you about that.
The picture is taken. The two pictures are taken literally seconds apart,
Mm-hmm.
and it's me standing with a timer in my mother's hallway, and it was just. I think I had like a sports bra and jeans on or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things where when I was taking the original pictures, it's taking like 15, 20 pictures of like basically the same pose, except I think one looks better than the other. And that's the one where like I'm posed and I'm this and I'm that. And I was thinking about the post that I had seen the day or two before. And then I took the relaxed photo and I was just like, I don't look that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, this is what my family sees every day. This is what my friends see every day, my roommates and shit like that. And I was like, if they can, I walk around my house like nothing. So, like, they see it all the time and they don't really care. So I was like, let me just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me talk about the post that I saw and why I felt like sharing this. And it was cool to see the response between like Instagram and Facebook and just people like, yeah, we don't mind you either way. Like, and it's nice to hear that someone found me through that because again, I think too much about those posts.
Mm-hmm.
So to think that that's how you found me and continue to stay because of that honest post, it honestly means a lot. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. Because, like I said, it was just nice to see. You know, my mom's Spanish, and you know she used to be really thin, and then she had me, and you know, but to that I it's too often the focus on the other, and like I really dug that, and that's why I stuck around, I guess. And I don't know, I'm kind of fanboying right now because you know.
I don't think you're a fanboy.
So, cosplay, right? Do you have anything that you would recommend to anybody who's like starting out in cosplay, or because I mean you've been doing this for what 6 years now?
Yeah, just about.
And like you know I'm seeing your name more and more in the bigger cons now, like New York Comic Con and whatnot. I think the first time I met you was at Greater Philadelphia Comic Con.
That was
like,
not this year, but last.
It was like 2 years ago, yeah. And so, is there anything that you would for somebody who's like starting out in cosplay or who wants to maybe do the Instagram cosplay thing?
I think my first thing I always ask for anybody who's starting out cosplay, I'm just like, what's your favorite character? Because I feel like the question is like, I don't know who to cosplay, and I'm like, what is your favorite character? And when they tell me, I'm just like, find a version or create a version or buy a version or whatever the case of your favorite character, because you have to start with something that you love. Because if you start with something because it's popular, or because of this, or because I look like it, or whatever the case may be, I feel like it doesn't mean as much. And you might not stay because you don't feel like it means as much. My first 2 costumes were done in the same weekend, and one of them was Harley Quinn, and she is my favorite, period, which is where I get like the last name from my stage name. And the other one was Catwoman. And the Harley Quinn was a bunch of pieces I threw together to make it look like a version of the nurse from Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
This was when that first game came out. And it didn't look just like it at all. But people got it. And I wore it and I was comfortable. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't even wear a wig. Wow. I had red hair, my curly pigtails, and people still liked it. And it was fun because I'm like running around the convention taking pictures with Batman and all of them. And the Catwoman was a fully store-bought costume. And I fell in love with the Amikami version of her. And I saw it in stores and I was like, I need this. And I wore that and people liked that also. And it's like, you don't have to make your costume. You don't have to, just do what you want to do.
Right. I was gonna ask you, are you one of those purists that you like? No. Everything has to be like you. If you know, 'cause there's.
Oh no, there.
Yeah, there's people that's like, I'm sorry, those are like store-bought costumes, and get away from us.
No, I can't do that when I'm a person who takes commissions. Okay. You can't shit on a person who doesn't make their own costumes but still take their money. That doesn't make any sense to me. There are people who do that, and I'm like that.
You literally make your living off of this.
Yeah, it's like you can't shame people when you're taking their money. It doesn't make any sense to me. To me, it doesn't matter how you got your costume.
My only thing is, and like, because I've been cosplaying for a while, but it's just now that I'm starting to maybe think about it seriously. My only thing is if you did store buy something or bought it off of someone, like you at least give that person credit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say you made something you didn't make.
Right, exactly.
If someone made your costume, I've made costumes, and everyone that I've made costumes for, I didn't tell them like, oh, you have to credit me when you post a photo. But especially, I guess, their first time making the post, it's like, my costume was made by this person. And they felt proud about it, and I'm glad that I could help them feel that way. And some of them will ask too, like, do you think I should start sewing my own costume, whatever the case may be? I'm like, you only start sewing your own costumes if you want to. And honestly, if you want to start sewing your own costumes, I will send you all the recommendations to machines and to this and to that. Because, I don't know, I guess the idea is like, oh, but you're losing business. It's like, but somebody wants to learn something.
Right.
Like, they want to try something new. I'm not going to prevent them from doing that because of a couple of dollars. Like, no, if you want to try, I want to see what you create. And there's a couple of people who have went to start creating their own things little by little. And there's some people who tried it and they didn't like it. They just aren't into the craftiness or, the sitting at a machine for hours. And there are 2 different types of people. I happen to like it and some people don't. But you should have that choice. Okay.
Do you want to tell everybody how to get a hold of you, or?
So Instagram is at Cin Von Quinzel. Facebook pages is the Cin Von Quinzel as the name. You can find me on Twitter as that name also, and I think most social medias, if you just look up Cin Von Quinzel, if I'm there, I'll pop up.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you for doing this. This is awesome.
No problem. This is nice. I like it.
All right. Yeah, and you can listen to this on SoundCloud or at garbledpodcast.com, and we'll be posting the video up on YouTube. So thank you.
No problem.
All right.